Guilty pleasures. This was a tough one. I started to write over and over and nothing seemed to go anywhere. Do I not have guilty pleasures? How boring. You know how when you can't think of what to write, you start looking things up in the dictionary and just try to define things and maybe something will inspire you? Yeah, I know. Guilty pleasures. Noun. Something such as a movie, television program, or piece of music that one enjoys despite feeling that it is not generally held in high regard. And then, in quotes, it says, everybody has a guilty pleasure. For me, it has to be mid-70s disco. And I'm thinking, why do you feel guilty about that? Disco was huge. If that's your thing, go for it. Enjoy. Or as we say in Yiddish, lass 'em gehen. Let it go. Then I realized I have lots of pleasures, but no guilt. I love show tunes. I love long baths, time by myself, a weekday baseball game at Wrigley Field, ice cream, Liza Minnelli. I don't feel a single touch of guilt for any of these. Should I? Actually, why don't I? I mean, I'm Jewish. We're supposed to have the market cornered on guilt, right? I grew up in this highly matriarchal family, and my grandmother had 3 sisters who collectively spawned a generation of guilt-ridden offspring. My aunts were demanding and in charge. I mean, my mom could be home after a long day's work. It's freezing cold in Chicago, much like tonight. The bathtub is running, and then the phone rings, and then she looks at me and says, come on, get in the car. We have to go buy Wishbone Italian dressing for your Aunt Irene. What? In my house, if you had friends over, it was the perfect time for my grandmother to pull out her 1 per customer coupons. All playing would stop, and off you would go to the Dominick's. 5 people, 5 coupons. The result? 5 6-packs of Coca-Cola. Now this in my house was actually a bonus because without the coupons, our refrigerator was stocked with some generic cola from the Hilo on Devon. Refuse my aunts? Not likely. I mean, the wrath of the aunts was something beyond reasonable. My Aunt Tessie and my Aunt Irene stopped talking after their mother died. I think it was like over a ring or, I don't know, some money, something like that. They never spoke again. I mean, over 50 years, till the death. At family parties, bar mitzvahs and weddings, you had to seat them equidistant from the head table, the kitchen, and the door to the room. If one of them were closer to either of those landmarks, the other one stood up and walked out. I mean, this is how I grew up. I had nightmares about seating charts. Then there was my cousin Charlotte, Char. One year, I decided to spend one night of Passover with some friends. Now, I still made the Passover kugel and the Sephardic harosets as requested. I sent them with my cousin Mark to Char's house. And now, I just want to say here that we were all going to be together the next night, and my mom was fine with this. Char apparently wasn't fine with this because she refused to serve my kugel. So my mom got angry about this and went upstairs during dinner, which was her way of refusing to eat without confrontation. Okay? It was a bit of a scene, and the next day my cousins were calling me, what are you going to do? Don't you give in. Char has to learn. Don't call her. Don't give in. What? Of course I'm calling her. She's my cousin. I called, we talked, it was all over. See, I know how to deal with these women. And anyway, it turns out she actually did serve the kugel the next day at her mahjong game. They love me. So the question is, how did I escape this guilt-ridden family? I mean, I am one of them. Blood. Is it nature versus nurture? I also have a really close family. A lot of us stayed in the Chicago area and we still see each other all the time. If I put a brisket in the oven, 12 Jews show up at my doorstep. My mom's closest friends were her cousins, Jackie, Shar, Ro, Jerry. They spoke every day at least once. They spent a lot of time telling my mom what she should do, and they have lots of opinions. And then on the other side, my mom sat at her desk at Second City, talking to actors all day long, valuing what they did do, and reassuring them that it would all work out. The show would open, the musical closer would work, their parents would be proud, and today's newspaper reviews wrap tomorrow's fish. I grew up in a world of satire, smart, funny, relentless mockery of the status quo. A world where I learned to find the funny, accept what comes your way, and stand by your actions. You can't stop speaking to your scene partner. Somehow you have to work it out, at least until the stage manager turns off the lights. Maybe the strength of my matriarchal past and the infusion of a satirical look on the world got me here to the no guilt zone. No I in ensemble? Maybe, maybe not. One thing's for sure. It works better when you can count on the support of the people you're on stage with. My crazy, stubborn, loving family is my team, my cast, my support system. Maybe it's just that I'm the first one to let them know it and to tell them that whatever they do, wherever they are, and however they feel about me or I feel about them, we gotta keep talking, at least until the stage manager turns off the lights.